Hello and welcome to Influence Me, episode four. Today we have with us a great guest. We have Alaa Saayed from Frost, who's kind of changed roles. We'll get into that a little bit here in this conversation. So without any further ado, I guess ado is French. So I don't know. It's time to move on to our interview. So welcome, Alaa.
Hey Dave, thank you very much for having me in your show.
It's great to have you here. This is my series. I call it Influence Me. Your episode number four, and I've just been going through. And the whole idea here is to get to know the analyst or the influencer a little better. And I don't think a lot of people know you as well as I know you. And I think you're just an extraordinarily interesting person. So let's get into that. Quick introduction
Thank
here.
you, sir.
Allah, you can find him on Twitter. Um, and you can also find him on LinkedIn, but you won't find him very easily because he's been pretty quiet lately. And so we'll get into that as well. But first, we got to start off this conversation. I see you're in your palatial estate there, I assume you're in Buenos Aires. Is that correct right now? Where you are?
Yes, I'm in Buenos Aires, Argentina.
And so you're like a man of the globe, a man of the world, and I don't understand anything about this. And so you're like an Arab, you live in South America, but then for a while you were living in Spain. I mean, so first off, how did you get to Argentina?
Yeah, well, let me try to summarize the story. So, both of my parents are from Syria. Actually, my father is from Damascus, and my mother is from Aleppo. And I was burned by a Syrian family. My father used to be the ambassador of the Arab League, and as such, with my brother, we were raised by a family traveling from one country to another, being the representatives of the Arab League. So basically, my brother actually was born in Sudan, in Africa, where my father used to be a diplomat there in Sudan. But then my father met my mother in Sudan, Africa, which my mother was a professor of arts, which also went from Syria to teach arts in Sudan, Africa. And so they knew each other in Africa. They got married, and they had my brother, which is my my old brother. And after they had him, they traveled to Spain, to Madrid. And this is where I come to the world. I was born in Madrid, Spain. My parents lived 11 years in Spain, so this is where I started to speak Spanish and everything. But then after Spain, we went 2 years in Tunisia. Then after Tunisia, 6 years in Argentina, where I spent three years in primary school education and then secondary school. So my adolescence years, very important years there. And then after the 6 years in Argentina, we spent 3 years in Egypt and 3 years, sorry, in Germany, in Bonn, Germany.
Okay, all right.
So,
So let's that's a lot of different places you've lived. You obviously like Argentina because you choose to live there now.
oh
Uh,
yeah.
and so, how many languages do you speak?
Well, no, I mean basically my mother's tongue, which is Arabic, then Spanish.
I was wondering what your mother's tongue was. I mean, you were born in Egypt, in Madrid, you said.
Yeah,
So what?
but
But your parents spoke Arabic to you.
Arabic, yeah, exactly. I mean, in my home, we used to speak Arabic. I went to Spanish school, so I spoke Spanish. But then I also had an English education, so English there, Spanish there, Arabic. And then when I went to Germany, I also studied German till Mittelstufe zwei, which is like the intermediate level. And I also knew some Italian. I fully understand it. I don't speak it, to tell the truth, but I knew it more because of Tunisia. Tunisia, plenty of Italian there. So it's a salad mix, my friend. And
So when you
yeah, go
dream,
ahead.
do you have subtitles in your dreams or anything like that?
Well, you know what? Mostly I feel identified by being Assyrian, but also Argentine. And I'm going to tell you why. From all the countries that I've been to, from all the fish tanks that I've been to, because I always love to describe countries such as fish tanks, and we are fishes there. From all the fish tanks, I loved Argentina because Argentina is such a cosmopolitan country from all Latin American countries. Argentina was made of immigrants, Spaniards, Italian, Syrio Lebanese, Russian. So I felt when I came here through in my adolescence years, I felt like one of them already, because there were plenty of Argentines with grandparents or with parents from Syria and Lebanon. So that immigrated here, well, in other periods of time. So here it's very common for all Argentinian to come from either a Spaniard relative, an Italian relative, or a Syrio Lebanese relative. In fact, the third collectivity in Argentina is the Syrio Lebanese, with around 9 million people or more with descendants from Syrio Lebanese. So I already felt like one of them since I came here. And I returned back to the country in year 1999 when I graduated from Germany. And I settled down here. And I'm right now when I speak Spanish, which is Castellano, by the way, which is different from the Spanish in Spain. Uh, Everyone tells me that no way that I'm Arabic, or I mean, I'm already one of
Yeah.
them, and I always
But it
well,
was amazing because we were in like Dubai together, and there's a lot of people speaking Arabic languages there, and you just switch into that, and then we
oh
meet
yeah.
somebody from another country, and you just switch into that. So I think it's just amazing how many languages you speak and are comfortable in.
Well, thank you,
Um,
sir. I mean, I'm
and I
always
felt
I'm
really
always
comfortable. I came to visit you. I was in Argentina. I was in Buenos Aires. You took us around. You took us all over all the tourist things, and I felt right at home in Argentina partly because we had a host, and partly because I like steak, and you go the best steakhouses. But we're going to get more to food here later. But I just think it's interesting that you are such a man of the world. Oh, I said word. I got to fix that one. Man of the world. Yet you are terrified to fly. How do you manage to be an analyst and be terrified to fly?
Well, that's a good question, my friend. So I mean, I've traveled so many times during my life. I mean, when I was a kid, I it used to be very fine with me, accompanying my parents to everywhere. We flied in we went to Libya, Marrakesh, all these places with planes which were even like the Indiana Jones planes with turbines and with chicken with boxes and chicken in boxes and stuff. Like, it was very scary. But the thing is that I was okay because I was with my parents, and I think the fear of flying came at a later stage when I started to see stuff happening in more and more travel that I had. But aside from that, it's not that today I manage it very, very well. I always take a sleeping pill with me and an anxiety pill with me, and I'm knocked off. And
No, the trick, Ala, is when you get to the analyst event, that's when you take the sleeping pill. You don't do it on you enjoy the flight. It's good movies and stuff on the flight. But okay, so
I
speaking
manage
of,
it. Yeah.
so let's talk about your coverage area a little bit, because I
Yeah.
know you as a UC analyst. You've been particularly focused around hardware. I know you've been monitoring that space really closely. You've kind of disappeared. Rumor has it that you were promoted and that you like changed your coverage area a little bit. So
Yeah.
what the hell do you do anymore? What are you up to?
Well, that's a very good question. So, just to back up a little bit, when I came here to Argentina, I started to focus. My first job was in Telefonica for Argentina. I started with the ICT sector, with the telecom sector, early age. I used to be focused everything related to marketing, product marketing, as well as research and development. And in Telefonica for Argentina, I spent years there. Then in Verizon, and then on Frost and Sullivan. I've spent already uh, 15 years and a half in Frost and Sullivan, and I was under the fantastic leadership of Elka Popova. You know her, um, thought leader in Enterprise Common Collab. She really helped me to grow more and more inside of Frost and Sullivan. Um, and had the opportunity, fantastic opportunity to get to know you guys, get to know the stars of the Enterprise Common Collab, get to travel more and more. And that was, I'm blessed to have known, to have had all these contacts. But, one day, Elka's boss, Linda, came to me, and she told me that there's this fantastic opportunity to lead a team inside of Frost and Sullivan, that she sees potential with me. And there is this fantastic opportunity to lead a new emerging team, which is our digital content services team. And basically, digital content services is everything that has to do with digital assets, everywhere from digital video to digital audio to video gaming to emerging tech such as XR tech, as well as the metaverse, the fancy word. And so, I thought that it was a fantastic opportunity to grow, and I've assumed that responsibility since April last year, and I'm very, very happy on the progress of the team. I have a team now that I'm in charge of, creating more and more reports on the subject, and we are very happy with the progress of the team.
So Elka is your old boss, but you
Yeah.
still praise her because once you leave, you're not supposed to praise them anymore. But but you're like the only one. To be fair to Elka, you're like the only one that's ever left that group. As far as I know, you're it. And like I don't know how long that group has been around, 10 years at least. But very stable group. Very
It's a
impressive.
fantastic group. Rupam Jain, Rob Arnold, Michael Brandenburg, herself, and to tell the truth, I didn't fully leave the team because I'm still in charge of pieces of the team. I still do the cloud meetings and team collab study. I still do the endpoint coverage of the market. So Elka still, and that's good. I love
But
that
does
that
that
fact.
mean your endpoint report is changing from like phones to include goggles, or you just keep them set? You're just doing the phones and then traditional endpoints.
Well, we have to have internal calls with Elka to see how that would shape the endpoint piece of the equation. At least the cloud meetings and team collab piece of the equation, I just finalized the base year 2022 report, and I'm still in that market with Wupom, with
Beautiful.
Elka. Yeah, but the endpoint piece, we are still shaping it because we have an important base of customers there, headset customers, endpoint customers, et cetera, et cetera.
So you can't probably answer this very fairly because it's a pandemic kind of impact. But does working and covering the metaverse mean less travel, or do you get to have all your meetings in goggles now, or we don't know, to be determined?
I think it's it's up to each and every individual and enterprise. The metaverse is just like internet on steroids, and if you want to augment your cloud meetings and team collab experience, being remote, well, the metaverse is beautiful, but it will, of course, never replace the physical interaction. And so, at the end of the day, for us, the metaverse is, it's not only virtual worlds; it's what we call 3D worlds, 3D immersive worlds. So that means not only virtual reality, but the integration of elements such as mixed reality and augmented reality into the real world. So you might be in a physical event, but you would still wear augmented reality or mixed reality glasses, and you'll have an expanded experience, an augmented experience of what you're seeing, and who you're talking with, and such, right?
Okay. Well, we'll get to the more interesting stuff here soon. But one last question on work stuff. You've covered
Sure.
very closely UC hardware over the years, endpoints particularly. Without going into any particular brands or vendors, what is your take on the space overall? Is it going to go away? Is it growing? I've been answering questions, for like the last 10 years. Is the phone dead? And obviously, not yet. But is it even the word yet? What are your thoughts on that?
I think the space is definitely evolving. The endpoint space is definitely evolving. And why it's evolving? Because there are new generations of workers. it's the same. It's the same thing as the digital content services market. When you speak about digital content services, we used to speak about TV, about radio, et cetera, et cetera. But then we started to speak about video streaming, OTT, SVOD. But now suddenly we are starting to see more and more generation of generation of people, youngsters, spending more time in the Roblox and Fortnites of the world rather than watching streaming, watching streaming television, watching Netflix. And so the same thing happens. If I have to draw an analogy in the workspace, the same thing happens in the workspace. As newer generation of workforce comes into the place, they're expecting more. They're expecting more of how to interact with each other, setting up new work cultures, setting up new ways of interactions. So the phone is not going to be dead. Still, we have plenty of regions, plenty of areas plenty of segment markets or verticals because of security or because of other topics, compliance. They will still prefer a phone, full stop. But then there are new generation of workers that prefer cloud meetings and team collab, potentially in the future immersive experiences more and more. And it's not going to be that far away where we're going to interact with, let's say, machine controlled avatars, where human controlled avatars will speak with machine controlled avatars via generative AI and stuff like that. So things are advancing, things are evolving. It's not that rapidly, it's evolution. I've been handling the endpoint market for so many years, and desktop phones have been gradually decreasing, but still the shipment is there. And so it's going to be all very gradual, very gradual.
I was just at the ISE conference in Barcelona, one of your hometowns. I don't know how many hometowns you have. I guess you said Madrid, not Barcelona. But I was surprised how much innovation is occurring in video hardware, video rooms, meeting rooms. There's just a ton of stuff going on there, and so. But anyway, let's get on to right before the pandemic. One of my plans, beginning of the before the pandemic, I bought tickets to come see your wedding in Buenos Aires. So the question is, what happened? Did you get married? Where did you get married? Did you get married? What's going on?
I think the pandemic hit us all, mi amigo, and what happened is that on a family, we had some major issues on when we speak about family. My father-in-law passed away, unfortunately, and the pandemic was a huge hit for him. It accelerated his illness, and so we postponed everything. I mean, those 2 years were a practical nightmare for many of us. It was like kind of a zombie movie. But anyway, I mean, the plans are there. I already proposed to her. You know that, like since 2 years ago, I've been planning to propose to her for so many years. I've told you that in Monaco, in Dubai, everywhere that we've been. I finally proposed to her. We are just
You
waiting
brought
for
her
the
to
right.
Monaco, as I recall. You
Yeah,
brought her with
yeah,
you. Yeah, yeah.
Mariana. And so we are just waiting for the best opportunity. And I think it's going to happen maybe probably hopefully by the end of this year. And you will be one of the first people to know
Well, I have now. Now that I put you
of.
on the live video stream.
No, no, no. You know how much I love you, my friend, and you will be one of the first to get invited. I mean, we had such a good time when you came here with Sorrel in Buenos Aires, and we had such a fun moment, in Recoleta and eating those fabulous steaks and la provoleta, if you remember the cheese and everything.
I've tried to find provoleta. Provoleta is a fried, fried in a frying pan, not a deep fryer, fried cheese in Argentina, and it's fantastic. It's one of my favorite dishes. I've gone to several Argentine restaurants here in the U.S. that have it, but it's just not the same. I just can't find that.
It's barbecued provolone basically, but
Yeah.
it's spiced with oregano, with some chili powder, with it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
So let's talk a little bit about food. You've covered earlier. You've lived in a lot of different places. I think you've kind of melded some of these cooking styles together.
Yeah.
But you are a celebrity chef. Is that an accurate description?
Well, I mean, like when you describe the different soccer leagues, you have primary division, division B, division C. I would be the division C yet, but my aim is to be in there one day. So yeah, I mean, I participate. Well, let me tell you something. So I always wanted to be like what my father used to be as an ambassador of the Arab League. So I shed a little bit of my culture and my heritage, Arabic heritage, um, through the food. So I found I found the food to be a vehicle to unite people, to speak about culture, to to make it's like Middle East for Dummies, to make kind of Middle East for Dummies with the
Yep.
food being the
Yep.
vehicle. And so I started
I
to
don't know
make
nothing
this
about the Middle East, but I like hummus.
hummus, yeah. So I did this YouTube channel. It was a long time ago when I first came to Argentina, I believe. um, Only Facebook existed back at that time. I started to record video recipes in there, and I started to get an amazing amount of people, contacting me, Argentines and people that are descendant from Syria Lebanese, saying, "Hey, you know what? My grandmother used to do this dish, or my, you know what?" Yeah, and it was fantastic. And I started to increase that. And suddenly, when the first MasterChef program came here to Buenos Aires, Argentina, I said, "What the heck? I'm going to participate." I was at Frost and Sullivan, so I sent my request to participate, and I was
This is
chosen
a
the
TV show, so a local Argentine.
MasterChef. Well,
Yeah.
it's
Oh, Master Chef.
MasterChef.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
MasterChef
Okay.
is known all over the world. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the Gordon
Well, this is
Ramsay's
the Argentine
MasterChef.
version of Master Chef.
It's the Argentine version. So that was, I think, in 2006 or something like that. And I said, yeah, I would love to participate. So I was within, like, I believe 10,000 people who
Applied.
applied. And suddenly those 10,000 people came to 5,000, those 5,000 to 3,000, then 500, and then from 500 to 20, and then from the 20 to 16. And I was one of the official. I mean, I was in prime TV show here in Argentina for 2 months and a half, and it
Yeah.
was a fantastic. It was a fantastic opportunity to
And
showcase.
it was really popular. I mean, you got to the point
Yeah,
where you went out and people recognized you.
yeah, yeah. Back at that time, it was fun, and it was a nice experience. Of course, as a reality, you have the good things and the bad things, but I always try to, show up my culture, and be humble about it. And to tell the truth, my followers started to increase, and so it was a nice experience overall. And today I have kind of a cooking show in YouTube. I'm not really uploading too much recipes today because of working time, but eventually I would like to invest more and more in that piece of my life equation there.
That's fantastic. I remember when we went out to eat in Buenos Aires, um, that you were always putting lemon or lime on your food. Is this a do you still do this? You were squeezing. I think it was lime. If we ordered steak, you'd squeeze
Lime
lime
or
on it.
lemon, yeah, yeah. I mean, you will find in all cuisines fusions. For instance, when you speak about Peruvian food recipes, you'll see that because of the immigration of Japanese people to Peru, there is this very huge culture of the Peruvian Japanese fusion of, there's the ceviche, the Nikkei, and all that. The same thing happens with my culture, the Arabic culture, with the Latin American culture, and especially with Argentina. So when the Syria Lebanese came here, they brought with them a lot of food that today is consumed here, like the empanadas, which is the stuff, meat, bread with meat, The same
Yep.
thing goes with other type of food. And us, the Arabs, we and not all the Arabs, because when you speak about the Arabs, there are 22 Arabic countries. It's just like speaking about Latin America.
Yeah.
When I speak about us, I specifically speak about the Arabs, the Mediterranean Arabs, which is Syria, Lebanon, Jordan.
Lebanon.
We exactly we use a lot of vegetables. We use eggplant. We use
Yep.
yogurt such as the Greek yogurt or the Armenian yogurt. We use
Yep.
as well lemon, a lot of lemon
A
with the
lot of
food,
chickpeas.
a lot of chickpeas as well. And so I love the fusion between the cultures. And, I started to do this asados, this barbecues, but also fusioning Arabic elements with the spices and the asado piece of the equation, getting to know, grasping the best of the two worlds, the education, the pieces of the Argentine asado with the pieces of the Arabic food.
So my claim to fame, I not anything like yours, but I can make falafels from scratch. I don't use no mix kit. I
I
soak the
love
beans.
that,
I make
man.
them. And I got that down. I do it a lot. It's become a kind of a family favorite. So when there's a special occasions like that, the kids will say, "Hey, will you make the falafels from scratch?" And so I love that.
You should be completely proud, because not even the Arabic, I would say, I'm not going to throw a stat there, but maybe even 70% of the Arabs out there don't know how to do proper falafel, and you're one of the
Right
mans that
there.
do it,
That's
because
the one dish I could do. The one dish I could
it's
do.
very
And then
hard
I
to.
tweeted one
Yeah,
time that I had to when I had chickens. I tweeted one time that I had way too many eggs. I didn't know what to do with the eggs, and somebody from Dubai had suggested a dish. I forget what it was.
shakshuka,
Um, I think it was eggplant, right? I think we
eggplant with
uh,
eggs.
yeah, it was like the eggs with the batter. You use a lot of I
Well, you
can't.
can do that. I mean, there are so many dishes with eggs in the Arab world, but you have,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you
think we
have.
shredded the eggplant, right? We shredded the eggplant and kind of made these like fritters or something out of. I don't remember, but that was the only other dish I've tried to make. Um,
Good
so let me
stuff.
just ask you, just kind of I don't ask very many people this, but I thought I would ask you. Did you happen to watch the World Cup this year?
Of course, every single game, man,
Is there
every
anybody
single
in
game.
Argentina that didn't watch the
Oh
World
my
Cup this year?
God, oh my God, it was the most amazing. I mean, there are certain things in life that it's like the Mastercard advertisement. Like there are certain things that money cannot buy, and this is one of them. And for Argentina to have won the World Cup for the third time, and for Messi to have
Yep.
won the third cup, uh, for us, it's another league. I mean, the whole country was in party for so. We are still in
Where
party
did you watch it? Where were you when during the last game of the World Cup?
in Buenos Aires with my whole family, with the family of my girlfriend. Everyone was like, and you don't know the passion that there is. I mean, all the balconies, everyone when a goal is made, everyone would scream out of the balconies on the top of their lungs as if it's like winning. I don't know what, something like the most extreme thing. So it's a feeling of union that you cannot imagine how much it is. I mean, the country here, Argentina, sometimes it's divided because of politics, but then when it comes to football, it's like religion, soccer, and
Stand United.
everyone, no matter what political party is united as never. And all the kids crying, all the grandparents crying, everyone
Yeah.
hugging each other, everyone in the streets. It's a huge party. It was a huge party. So
Well,
fantastic.
congratulations on that. That was very exciting. We
So
don't
much.
have anything like that in the U.S. that is that uniting. Maybe the State of the Union. We heard a lot of people screaming on their balconies, but it was not because we're united. But I did a trivia thing on Twitter. I posted a bunch of stadiums from Google Maps to see if people could identify them, and I posted one in Buenos Aires, and and some people actually had the name of it, which is correct, but which is the answer I was looking for. But some people called it River Plate, which I think is a strange name for a Spanish-speaking country. So what is River Plate? Does that mean
River Plate
something in
is one.
Spanish?
River Plate is one of the two major soccer teams here in Argentina. You have Boca
But it's like
Juniors,
two
which is
English
a
words. They're not Spanish words, are they? Are they Spanish words
yeah,
too?
yeah. I don't know the origin why. I mean, River Plate, River is we have here what is called Rio de la Plata, which is the Silver River, right? Silver River, which is the river that goes into Buenos Aires, and it is then it evokes to the Atlantic Ocean, right? I mean,
Yep.
and so that the translation of that in English would be river silver, but they said okay, plate, which is plata. You understand, like something
So it's like
weird.
it's plated silver. They're soaking
Yeah,
it
yeah,
plated, silver
yeah,
plated. Okay.
silver
All
plated,
right.
and then
Well,
Boca Juniors, and then you have other News Old Boys, which is also like English. We have a lot of soccer teams that have English, English words in there. So yeah, yeah.
so we've already gone a half hour here, so I'm going to wrap this up. But there's so many more things I wanted to talk to you about. I'll just kind of throw out here a couple. You mentioned your mom and dad. I understand your mom recently moved to Buenos Aires. That was pretty big accomplishment.
It was a
Congratulations
huge
on that.
accomplishment. Thank you so
Um,
much. Yeah, yeah.
and
I
and,
mean,
you, and you've mentioned your brother a few times. What most people don't realize is your brother is also a celebrity, not a chef. But when we were in Dubai, people like knew who you were because of your
yeah,
brother.
yeah.
And
My
so he's
brother
in
is
Egypt.
yeah. My brother is really a celebrity. I mean, I'm like a really a third or fourth level celebrity. I mean, this guy is really a celebrity in all the Arab world. I mean, he's an actor of TV soap operas and in the whole Middle East, and his films and his TV series are streamed all over the Middle East. So that's why when the guy walks in, and not only in Egypt but in other countries, he's well known all over the place. So
That's great.
yeah,
So with that, I want to wrap things up here. I got to tell you, Ala, I find you very inspirational. I love a lot
thank
of
you,
things.
sir.
What I really like about you, Ala, is that you're always happy, and you're always, the answer to any question is yes. And I love that about you. I wish I could be more like that. We were in Dubai, and they said, "Hey, do you want to ride a camel?" And you said, "Yes, I'll ride a camel." And you went on the camel thing, and I'm like, "No, I'm not going to do that." And then you're like, we did the sand tour in Dubai as well. I saw you in Florida, and they had like live music, and you were like doing the tango all of a sudden. It's like I just turned my back for a minute, and next thing I know, you're like doing the tango out there. Obviously, you talked about your cooking show, and again, you said yes, I'll apply for that, I'll do that. And then the most important defining characteristic is that when I asked you to be a guest on Influence Me, you said yes as well. So with that, I want to say thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. I'm a humbled person that you've actually contacted me for this, Dave. And to answer that question, I mean, we only live life once, and we have to experiment as much as possible. We have to enjoy with our people. I had the chance, as you just said, to bring my mother living from Syria to Buenos Aires. She has 80 years old. I always am very thankful for my family, for God to have given me the life that I have. I'm thankful for people like you that opened the doors for me to also know important persons and stuff. So I'm always very humbled with this, and very thankful for your kind words as well, Dave, and having me in your show as well.
Well, gracias and adios. Thank you so
De
much.
nada, amigo. Un abrazo gigante y que la pases muy bien. Chao, chao.